Okay, this is like a topic I love obsessively. I love this this topic of money, because not because I actually want so much money, it's because I see so many people make so many mistakes when it comes to their own money earning, using, saving. So
Okay, so for me, I think I would start about how people deal with money. Okay, there's how they earning, saving, and spending, but I also talk about what people feel and think about money. Before people can think about
what do you think people think about money?
Yeah, I was getting this. So before people think about how to manage money, to create it or to save it, sometimes there are these invisible scripts or things people tell themselves about money that either makes them save better or not save, or spend it or not spending it. So for example, there are people, if you're more religious, there are people who have been taught that money is the devil. So everything they do, they act as if money is not important in everything they do. So they don't work hard to actually provide, or they don't learn how to manage it, or they're careless. So because deep down they've been told that money is bad, and as the Bible says that rich people, it is hard for rich people to go to heaven. So because of that, most people have an unhealthy ideas, unhealthy beliefs about money.
Yeah.
There are people who think that rich people are really living a terrible life. Like if you have too much
Sinful.
money, it's not a happy place to be. But actually, money, if you have everything covered, man, it's a really nice lifestyle. So all those things. There are people who also get money and then they're so obsessed, they're so worried they're gonna lose it, then they don't leave, they don't use it and spend it what it's supposed to do. So someone may be working on food or starving, or I don't know what other things people do.
Yeah.
Because they believe if they're gonna lose it, they rather keep it. So all those things, that's where I was trying to start from. Before, if you want a healthy lifestyle, you have to know that money is part of the equation. And actually, I used to. There is what I did. I think it's a Harvard professor who was talking about synthetic happiness and real happiness. Trust me, when you've worked hard for something and you get paid and you actually provided, that is what I think where real happiness comes from. But if you are deprived, you are starving, you are weak, you don't have income, you are worried about real life issues, no matter what you tell yourself, no matter how you tell your brain, I'm happy, you're really not, because actually your whole state of being is deprived. So by default, you are going to be craving, you are going to be worried, and hence you can't just be happy. So that's why if you're one of those people who believe that having money is bad, it's gonna make you really a terrible person. Actually, that's why sometimes when you see rich kids or people who are raised in rich environments, sometimes they're chilled. They're relaxed. It's either because they're actually not worried about a lot of things.
Of course, I will disagree.
Of course, there is some disagreements in there. I believe that. But a person, I think in education, there's a book about poverty talking about when a child is living in conditions where they are worried about food, shelter, all these basic needs, which means simply no money, their psychology and their production, even us, if you don't have money to cover the basic needs, how does it feel to work? It's very uncomfortable. But when all those things are taken care of, really you can relax. And then it's maybe after that you become greedy, and then you become entitled. Maybe then you start creating those unhealthy approaches about money. So what other philosophies do you think things people tell themselves about money, and in regard of that topic?
In the area of the generation, I've noticed the generation between, let's say, 25 to 45, and amongst a diverse, it doesn't matter what race or nation they're from, something that seems to be typical and similar is, once I have this amount of money, X amount of money, like so and so, Mr. Famous guy, Amazon, Tesla guy, Facebook guy, all those, then I will be as happy as them, and I will be able to accomplish A, B, C, D. So to be precise,
that money can buy.
I will be, there's this very common statement when I'm sitting with people my age group, a little younger, a little older, but that range of 25 to 45 is, man, I can't do this because I don't have money like George Ndahiro. George Ndahiro, he has the money, he has the cars, he has the house, and so he's able to accomplish and fulfill the things that he's doing right now. But you see, what our age group fails to realize is those people were broke at some point. Not all of them. Some of them came from money. Some of them got $1 million loan from their dads, like, our leader. But in general, a lot of them started from nothing. A lot of them started from a dorm room, a garage, kitchen, wherever. But they started something. So that's why I would like to talk about money. Money is not the solution to everything that is going wrong in our lives. Second, money is not the problem. Like, the lack of money is not the reason why you are not doing anything. It is your personal choice to not do anything. You can start with any amount of money, and it sounds like, I feel like I sound like those Oprah and them, but I'm telling you, because I have a business right now. You can literally start from nothing. You can also borrow $100, and that's in the US. You can borrow like $100 from someone. Start something. I remember my first, I've done a lot of small businesses, but the one that stands out to me right now, last year I didn't have a job, and part of the year, and so I needed to make money to pay my bills. So I borrowed, maybe it was like $100 to start my food cooking business. So I would cook food for people, and then I'd deliver it to them most of the time. Sometimes they would come, like a couple of months later, people would come to my house and eat here. But I started by borrowing $100, went and bought supplies. I was so naive. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. So I wasted a lot of that $100. But anyway, I got my food cooked, and I went and delivered the food at an event, like it was an event for refugees. And I think I made like $300. So you see, start with something. I paid my $100 back. I learned my lesson because the food ran out, but I still got paid. And those people were so sweet to do that for me. But then the next time I was smarter. I went and shopped at, I started doing my research where are the cheapest places to buy food, where are the cheapest places to buy the heating trays, and just like a lot of stuff. But you have to start with something. But you know what? Necessity is the mother of invention. I've gone into a whole rant. My point is, the reason why I want to talk about this is because I'm fed up of hearing that age group talking about how money is the reason why I haven't done this. If I had this much money like so and so, my life would be better. I would be more faithful. I would be more happy. I would be a better provider. I would be helping other people. I'd be able to volunteer and help people with... No, those are just excuses we make.
And I totally agree with you. Money, it's like, and actually, most of the time it's known that people didn't have money at some point in their lives. They had it, they didn't know what to do with it. They thought money would stay there. They didn't multiply it or invest it. Come up with ideas how that money can come can generate other income, and then of course they spend it. And they think if they get more money, they're going to solve more problems. No. So, and that's why before you get money, you better think about what's gonna do. What are you gonna do with it? It's if you have a talent that you're not producing, you're not multiplying, it is going to die. You're gonna eat it and then die with it. So, and
Yes.
that's another big myth about money, is that people think we do get money, but we don't learn how to make it work for us or generate more.
Yes.
So something also related to money I want to talk about is the people who are in our age group, especially young people. We always think we have time. So, but also how time is related to money, and how most of the time we don't think like people say, someone will say, I don't have money, but they waste time when they're supposed to be actually making money.
Yes, like I don't have enough money for ABCD that I want, but then you're going to spend 6 to 8 hours watching Netflix.
There you go. Now let's use that example.
Wow.
So that's people. There is
Wow.
actually, this is something that really scared me. So on the average, people spend time on TV or watching things like shows.
Watching shows, sitting on social media.
The average
playing
maybe
video
take
games.
8 hours a day. How much is in an hour? Minimum wage maybe take
7 something.
Now that's for real minimum wage, but let's say you are worth
Let's say
$15.
15 is high.
$10.
10.
So $10 an hour. So in 8 hours you just wasted 80. Now in a week, now that's not what happens.
That's $400.
People, yes.
Wait. That's $400 a week.
You just
sat
wasted.
in front of a screen.
You just wasted when you could be actually doing that shitty job you're always complaining about.
Wow.
Now that's not it though. I'm trying to connect
that's not
time.
it.
I'm trying to connect time with money, and the only assets you have as a young person is your health, and time. When you're in your 20s, man, you're the gold mine. Anyway,
Man, okay.
so for 1 week you wasted about 400, right? Now imagine people who you start in that 21, 3, 4. Imagine for after 5 years, how much?
What, like 21, 20?
I mean, let's take 1 year. So let's say
1 year.
1 year, how much money people will waste or lose when they are wasting time away.
Okay, that's approximately $1,600 a month times 12. Now, let's say you're not going to work every single day, because we're doing 5 days a week. If you're making 80 a day, you work 5 days a week. Then that's 400, right? 400 times 4, that's 16.
A month.
So a month, 1,600 a
12.
month. Times, okay, I think it's ridiculous because not everybody is going to work the full 12 months. So we'll do it times 10. It's $16,000.
Okay, you do the multiplication. Now, the reason I'm talking about these numbers of time and money, think about that. When you don't have,
So 1,600 times 10.
it's 1,600.
Yeah.
So
In that year.
yes, and that is for only for an hour.
That's
You've only
painful.
lost $10. Now that's what we are just assuming you're worth. Some people, 1 hour, they are worth of a lot of money.
Yeah, so we're doing the absolute
Minimum.
minimum for somebody who probably has no college degree, or somebody who's working an odd job, and obviously we're dealing with somebody who's living in the US, for instance. So this person has given up $16,000 to sit on social media, watch TV endlessly, and or play video games.
Go out on weekends.
And just lounge. No, you can go out on weekends because you're only working 5
No,
days
not
a week.
weekends actually. They go out all the time. That's
Like
what I
you,
meant to say.
and then remember you're spending more.
Yes.
This
yes.
is painful to see,
Yes.
even for myself.
Yes.
I don't spend 8 hours on anything.
This
except
is
work, but-
this is why money and time. Young people, the number one asset you have is time and health.
I don't know if you can see it.
I think put it on your face.
What? Put it on my face?
No. I
There's
don't
too much light, but it says. I just have to show you guys the number. It says 16,000.
So anyway,
That's the one thing parents many parents do not teach their children about.
Yes.
So you know that whole school doesn't teach you. School is not the number one teacher. Our parents do not talk to us about
How to manage
manage money. And so we just grow up assuming, because our parents are providing, we just assume what else. But in actuality, that's a one skill that every parent must teach their child.
As I think I was like 10, 11, 12, the first time I ever thought about doing, I think my mother, is the first time I was selling cigarettes. I was at my grandparents'. So people used to just put things on the gate, and then people just come by, buy whatever. It could be buying bananas, it could be cigarettes, it could be beer, it could be anything, juice, anything. So I think I asked my mother to buy. I didn't smoke, but for some reason I saw people smoking, and then just put cigarettes
so
there.
how did you get your initial capital to buy cigarettes?
My mom bought the first packet, and then
She bought you the first packet of
Yes.
cigarettes to start.
yes. And I remember actually
Wow, that's Africa, guys. Kids can sell
I think
cigarettes.
that is the first time I thought about actually working for myself. Now, but after that, all the time I've always seen my mother. My mother is a very creative person. She would always come up with ideas. What if we did this? What if we did that? And so being around all that environment, even by the time I was in high school, by the time I got in college, I was like, please, I'm not ever thinking gonna be. I would rather be working for myself one day. Part of that I'm telling these stories to tell parents that
parent.
before. And it's another thing. People don't think to educate when they're able, like when they are actually well off. So people start to worry when there is problems. So imagine you already have. I think I would prefer to teach people when I have resources. That's when you have income, when you have a job, when you have your parents can provide you. I mean, when you still have supporting systems, that's when you should be investing a lot of effort to learn skills, to try a lot of things, and then because you actually have some support there. But what happens as a default for a lot of people, they're relaxed. They think nothing's wrong until now you no longer have a job. That's when you're thinking about now when you no longer really have support. So I'm saying the good time to teach people money,
especially you as parents,
creating wealth is when you actually have supporting systems. If you are well off, teach a child how, for example, to multiply some small investment you can give them.
You can even start with eggs.
Yes.
Something as simple as that, or crayons, or I've seen a lot of kids do lemonade. But just to diversify for different people who will be watching this, bananas, oranges, fruits of different types, little booklets, coloring books, stuff that will get your kid excited.
It's funny, I just remembered my mother used to, because my brother used to like to go to play in the streets with other kids, she would make him mandazi, like donuts, and then my brother would take them and sell them to other kids.
Yeah
and it was just for fun. It was, so she would, because we used to make donuts for breakfast or other things, and then she just package the rest, and then my brother would go sell them and with them, since you are going to play, you better be selling something.
Really?
I'm not kidding.
Okay, I've never heard of that. That's amazing.
That's what I'm saying. My mother was super creative. Even till this time, she calls me and says, George, I just had an idea.
I would love to work with a person like that.
I've never seen my mother
who is
rest.
Just always.
That's a crazy thing, and that's why
what? We need to talk about.
That's why I would rather, when I work in the systems, when I work in the jobs where I can't think, I feel suffocating. That's why one of the reasons I'm doing this is that when I wake up, I have because I always have a stream of ideas, things pop up, pop up, pop up. So if I'm working somewhere where I can't use what I'm thinking, because I've seen that for almost my entire life. My mother would wake up, she'd be like, this is an idea, let's find out. And she never actually, she was not even highly educated. So, but she would find ways to do something. And what was fun is this. Like the story I told you how we built 2 houses. And it was all because of my mother. My father had a regular job. We were fine. I mean, we were never worried about anything. So, and most of the time we were using company vehicles, company buildings. So sometimes we didn't even need to have our own house. So, by my mother, first she told my dad when he would come back from work. In the evening, we were eating on the table. After dinner, we're just sitting there, I mean, talking. So just one day she'll be like, you know what? There is why don't we buy a small piece of land here, and then I'll oversee the building and everything. My father would be like, yeah, since I'm not here, you're always here. Tell me what you need. And then in a few months, the house was done. So we moved to that house, and then we've been there for months. And then she was like, you know what? I just heard the government is giving free pieces of land. What if you take one and build another house, and then we can rent it? We can use it to rent people to rent it. It's like, yeah. Then my father like, George, I want you to design the house with my cousin. There was also another cousin, because I used to draw things. Like, yeah, I draw a house. And so of course my mother oversee everything, construction and everything. The house was done, people was renting the house. And I remember every time I would drive by the house, I would see our house because it had a special door on the back. So I was like, dang, I designed that house.
So do you guys still have both the houses?
No, we sold one. Now, this is why this story is very, very interesting about creating wealth. After our father passed away, we sold this house I was in the city we were living in. And then we bought a farm in the, like 30 minutes, like 1 hour away of the city. And this farm had already a house, and then you had a banana plantation and other vegetables. Because my mother knew how to farm, and she would say, I know one thing, children always have food to eat because I know how to farm. Mm-hmm. So she sold that. And then the one also, because of, it was the second one, she sold it later for school fees and other things. Now, wow. You see, that's how she was doing things. Now, what was funny though?
Please just like side note and say, like, his mom didn't even make it to high school.
She never went to high school.
Just as a side note, she did not make it to high school.
She went
George's mom, if you're watching this, you are just amazing.
She went to what they call technical schools at the Catholic Church, where they will teach girls how to read and sew, things like that. Then, now, this is the story of how I ended up in the United States and how it all was because of my mother. Now, the farm we bought, it was like 2010, I think, or 2007 at that time. She bought it for a low price. Fast forward 2011. I think it was after how many years?
Maybe 5.
5. That farm was worth like 10 times
what she bought it for.
Yes. What happened, now one day I was just in the city doing what I was doing, and then she calls me, George, I need to sell this farm. I was like, ma'am, what are you doing? She was like, I want to sell it, buy another farm away, like 3 hours away again, which is cheaper again, and then we are going to use half of this money we're going to get from this farm for your school fees. And that's exactly how I ended up in the United States.
She bought your ticket.
But it's the same thing.
See, that really changes the equation here.
And that's why I think sometimes people, when they think about creating money, creating wealth, they think about short-term things. It's great to have a career or to have a corporate job, but sometimes these things end. like I'm talking about thinking about long term. Most people don't think about long term, and because of that, in any area of life, even if you are working in a corporate, you have a corporate job, think long term. Whatever income you're making, I'm sure if you find an idea for a long-term goal with the little money. I'm thinking my mother, she always used my father's salary, which she would cut it a half, and then so it was never any like a large amount of money.
Yeah, your mom.
So
Mom is a good woman.
All right.
Thank you guys. Like,
you close up.
I have no words. Thanks guys for watching our show today, George's show. Marie here, sorry, Daphne. Daphne here, and the main host, George Ndahiro. It's been good. We're going to continue on our series on money and maybe even touch on more employment and stuff like that.
Yes. Yeah. So first, use your time well, think long term, and have a healthy point of view or philosophy on money. Money is good. Just have a good, healthy understanding of it.
Yeah.
So see you, and let's get to work.
Bye.
Ta-da-da.